and I'm sorry about talking about it. Bye. 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 No, no, I won't talk about it. You can't do this to me. No. Oh shit. I guess sleep on. Oh, John Dill decides to come out of nowhere. What's up, colours, man? Oh, it's 1 minute after than I usually start. You dance. Do you see how OP private servers are, man? Like, they're crazy.
I swear I have only seen this chemical reaction like once, and that was when me and my bro was testing it out, and from then I never saw it again. This reaction is so hard to do because the characters don't complement each other well for this to work. Like, you need to be close to Bachira, and Bachira needs to use a skill, then you can do the reaction. I don't know if this sounds easy to y'all, but trust me that in game this is like impossible to do, and the others are so much better. Next up...
Oh my god, who are you? Get out! Hi. Oh, we can do it. Ooh. Girl. Oh, no.
She asked gently. I just started sobbing and couldn't stop. I showed her the prayer journal with trembling hands and tried to explain how God would never forgive me if I failed. She called social services that afternoon. When I found out, I begged her to take it back while tears streamed down my face. Please, you don't understand, I whispered desperately. I knew exactly how Amara breathed when her lungs were filling with fluid. I knew which physicians held her joint pain. I knew that she needed her pills crushed into applesauce, not pudding, because the texture made her gag. Without me, she would die, and it would be my fault. But my parents didn't care about that when they found out what I'd done. They mobilized the entire church against me. The devil had taken hold of our daughter, Mom announced to everyone who would listen. Church members held prayer circles in our front yard, asking God to cast out my demons. During the investigation, Amara had a massive seizure while my parents stood there praying instead of helping. I pushed past them with shaking legs and got her on her side and timed it like I'd done 100 times before. They found 3 years of medical records showing my parents hadn't attended a single appointment. Your parents haven't been here once, the investigator said quietly while I stared at the floor. They found the prayer journal documenting my exhaustion. They found that I'd been performing complex medical care that should have required an actual nurse. Amara and I got placed together in therapeutic foster care right after. What was the hardest part of having a chronically ill sister? My parents made me her full-time caregiver when I was 11 because they said God chose me specifically for this holy purpose. I was in 6th grade when they moved all her medical equipment into my room and told me I was blessed with healing hands. Amara had this rare autoimmune thing that meant someone had to watch her constantly, and my parents decided that someone was me. I thought this was what good Christian daughters did. Mom always said God gives special children to special families, and apparently I was special enough to handle all of it alone. Dad would quote scripture about suffering bringing us closer to heaven while he handed me her medication schedule. 23 pills a day at exact times. Miss 1 and she could have a reaction. Miss 2 and we'd be heading to the emergency room. The real expectation came with a threat dressed up as a blessing. God spoke to us last night, Mom said after church one Sunday. She was holding Amara's hand while my sister dozed against her shoulder. He said, "You're her guardian angel on earth. If anything happens to her under your watch, then you'll have failed his test." Dad nodded along and added that my faith would be measured by how well I cared for her. If she died because I wasn't vigilant enough, then God would never forgive me, and neither would they. They gave me this prayer journal where I had to document everything. I had to write down every pill I gave her and when. I had to record every symptom I noticed throughout the day. I had to document every prayer I said over her body. They called it my devotion record and said they'd present it to God as evidence of my
And we
faithfulness.
got
They really used
6
it more with reading it out loud at dinner to point out where I'd failed.
things that I
They'd say I
can
forgot
put
to mention praying
down
while giving her the
decent
new
stuff.
medication. They'd point out that I didn't write about checking her breathing at 2
Agenda.
a.m.
That's
These
fine.
missing entries became sins that needed confession and repentance. I handled everything while they went to prayer retreats and church conferences. Amara needed someone to check her vitals every 2
PJ
hours, including
sounds
overnight.
fine.
She needed help getting to the bathroom. She needed someone who could recognize when a seizure was coming. I learned to sleep in 20-minute
Yeah,
intervals
let's
and wake
look
up without
this
a
way.
snore. "You're so good at this," Amara whispered one night when I helped her sit up for pills. My parents even told everyone at church how blessed they were to have such a devoted mom. They'd stand at the pulpit talking about trusting God's plan while I sat in the pew calculating if I'd given Amara her steroids at the right time. Here's a better help of her service. What family tradition made you realize your mother was insane? In my mother's family, all daughters were required to burn their childhood photos and journals on their 16th birthday to start fresh as women ready to get married. My grandmother Delia started this after being forced
Why
to
is my
read.
giant
The man
pine
was older than
tree
me.
so
He hit her for crying
huge?
about her toys. So she decided memories made women weak. She taught her daughters that men could smell your past on you, that remembering who you were would ruin your future. My mother Renata had 6 sisters. I watched them at family dinners, these messy women who couldn't remember their best friend's names or favorite childhood games. They'd sit around trying to remember stories from before their burning, but their minds were blank. For my 16th birthday, Mom spread everything from my childhood: memories, baby pictures, report cards, the bracelet my friend Kira made me, every birthday card, every trophy, every proof I existed before that day. Mom handed me napkins. She said I had to earn it all or be alone forever. She showed me her mother book where she ranked which memories would discuss future husbands most. Playing in bed was number 1. Having boyfriends was number 2. Living like this was number. My older sister Camille had her birthday 4 years ago. Now she's back in her room staring at the wall, trying to remember her first kiss. She begged me to tell her stories about when she was little. Mom told me they never
Mango,
told my
mango,
grandmother about
mango,
Hannah and
mango,
Moses.
man,
She said
mango,
Hannah and
mango,
Moses were
mango.
the next
I need to get rid of my mangoes, sadly, because they waste mutations.
It's raining tacos.
Look at this
Fall
stuff.
out of the sky. Tacos.
Where's my
No need
chalk?
to ask
Oh.
why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. Raining tacos. Out in the street. Tacos. All you can eat. Lettuce and shells. Cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yum. Bring your sour cream.
Shell, meat, lettuce, cheese, shell, meat, lettuce, cheese, shell, meat, cheese.
It's raining tacos. Raining tacos. Raining tacos.
No.
It's raining
Hello.
tacos. It's raining tacos.
So,
Raining tacos. Raining tacos. It's raining tacos.
Why is it green? What's your job? I'm not getting rid of my green glasses. Sadly, it didn't get this way. Things about to go out, and minutes about to go out. Oh, if you could accept it, if you need it. Bye. Tranquil. There it is, but I can't read it. What happened to my FOV? What game am I playing? I can't give it to you. At least I put a brush. Take it. Get to free. What the? Oh yeah. Oh. Sugar apple. Make your own private server for your free. Let's go. Alright, so we got the best one. Good boy. No, I really don't. Let's try another two. What if I do it? Why is there only one in the start? It's this times 3. Let's get a football seed, man. I really want to make it like at least close to my phone boss.
My grandmother Delia started this after being forced to marry a 15-year-old man. We hit her for crying about her toys, so she decided memories made women weak. She taught her daughters that men could spill your past on you, that remembering who you were would ruin your future. My mother Renata has 6 sisters. I watched them at family dinners, eat empty
And I can reclaim it if I do anything wrong. No, this. Yeah, let's do it. Football. Football. Mimic. You're mimicking me. Do. Dudes, let me price these down. Don't push anything down anymore. I have to do it on mobile. Quickly leave. Join private. Ooh. Shut up. Let's drink football. Woo-boo. Let's do defense. Leave. Now join one of my friends that are in my private server.
These women who forgot their home but then grandmother Delia's mind started going. She'd forget where she was, mixing up past and present. At Easter dinner, she grabbed my hand and cried. I know I had a sister. I know I had a younger sister, but I can't see them anymore. That's when I showed her photos of
Oh,
my
my sprinklers.
grandmother screamed when she saw them. That's my kitchen. That's the boat. She remembered things she'd burned 40 years ago. Mom saw her own child's face on my screen and felt bored, but instead of being grateful, she got violent. She threw my phone against the wall. She said I was torturing them with ghosts. My aunt held her back and she tried to scratch my face. That's when my cousin Laura's daughter, who'd been quiet at the kids' table, stood up. She was 15, 1 year from her own burning. I already uploaded everything to the cloud too. So did Becca. So did Lydia. We all had backup. The room exploded. Mothers screaming at daughters crying, aunts accusing each other of raising lies. The young cousins ran upstairs while the mothers tried to figure out who else was keeping memories. In the chaos, Mom grabbed the old fire pit lighter and held it to my hair. You started this to me. She hissed. You taught us to
Not
disobey.
even
Grandmother
close.
Delia pushed us away from the hard she wrote. I left that night with nothing but my phone. The family memories. The other half started repeating them, breaking the family apart.
Nice. Whoa!
She's right, I did. I kept my memory. My family. They kept the
So
family.
you did this get sliced. Oh.
Everything except who I am. What family tradition made you realize
I
your
think
brother wasn't safe?
none
In
of
my
my
mother's family,
fruits got
all women are
sliced.
required to burn their childhood photos and journals
Yeah,
on
like
their 16th
none of
birthday
them.
to start fresh as women ready
Did
to be
some
married.
of
My
them.
grandmother Delia
I got
started this after being
none.
forced to marry at 15. The man was old and mean. He hit her for crying about her toys. So she decided memories made women weak. She taught her daughters that men could smell your past on you, that remembering who you were would ruin your future. My mother Renata has 6 sisters. I watched them at family dinners, eat empty women who couldn't remember their best friend's name or favorite childhood game. They'd sit around trying to remember stories from before their burning, but their minds were blank. On my 16th birthday, Mom spread everything from my childhood across our table. Baby pictures, report cards, the bracelet my friend Kira made me, every birthday card, every trophy, every proof I existed before that day. Mom handed me matches. She said I had to burn it all or be alone forever. She showed me her leather book where she'd ranked which memories would disgust future husbands most. Playing in dirt was number 1. Having boyfriends was number 2. Living like this was hell. My older sister Camille had her burning 3 years ago. Now she sat in her room staring at the wall, trying to remember her first pet name. She begged me to tell her story.
This is a crystal fish worth $800 million. Just one bite can grant immortality and instantly increase muscle mass by tenfold. But catching this fish is even harder than defusing a time bomb. The moment you touch them with your hands, your skin instantly turns black and becomes worthless. Although these fish have a danger level of less than 1, they can literally be scared to death by the slightest danger. Even the powerful Sesame couldn't successfully catch crystal fish, but this time, Maru and Sunny brought Komatsu here. However, after crossing this fall, both were completely exhausted and could only let Komatsu scout ahead alone. Komatsu slipped and tumbled straight down, rolling deep into the cave. When he got up, he was so startled by his own shadow that he wet himself. Maybe fools have fools' luck. When he turned around, he unexpectedly discovered where the crystal fish were. Looking at the golden crystal fish in the pool, Komatsu was too excited to speak. He approached the pond and slowly lowered his prepared net into the water. He actually managed to scoop one up. Komatsu was thrilled, but just as his hand was about to touch the crystal fish, its skin turned completely black in the next second, becoming a dead fish. Komatsu stood frozen, not knowing what went wrong. Remembering how he handled puffer whales before, Komatsu became even more careful with the net, quietly waiting for the fish to swim in on their own. This time, the crystal fish actually made bird-like sounds, but it still ended in failure. In just 2 minutes, Komatsu had lost $1.6 billion. Then came the third fish. Now Komatsu was completely questioning his life. Just when he was about to give up, a golden liquid dripped from the rock wall above into the pool. Surprisingly, the fish weren't startled at all. Komatsu suddenly had an epiphany. He carefully walked into the pool and discovered these golden liquids were just like olive oil. This time, when he touched the crystal fish, nothing happened. The fish actually approached Komatsu on their own. While Aru and Sunny were discussing whether Komatsu would succeed, he returned carrying 2 full boxes of crystal fish. Looking at the glittering fish, they both rolled all over the ground. But when they tried to leave, they found the cave entrance blocked by a huge boulder. Fortunately, Sunny's pet mother snake appeared just in time. The gap between the rocks was just big enough for Mother Snake to pass through, so the three jumped into the snake's mouth and successfully escaped. Looking at the golden crystal fish, Komatsu already knew how to cook them. To make the fish's death less painful, Komatsu specifically brought olive oil from the pool so the fish would think they were still swimming. Then he coated them in egg wash and breadcrumbs and deep fried them on low heat. After 2 minutes, the fish were golden brown on both sides. Looking at the fragrant fried fish, Aru and the others couldn't stop drooling. But Sunny suggested that good ingredients must be paired with beautiful scenery, so he ordered Mother Snake to take them 1,000 meters into the sky. But Aru couldn't care less about the view. He bit down on the crispy coating that gave off a delicious aroma and couldn't feel any fish bones at all. The thick, juicy fish meat had a perfect chewy texture that left an endless aftertaste. His strength instantly returned to peak condition, but Komatsu felt something was missing. He sprinkled some of milk stardust on top. When Sunny took a bite, he actually felt the joy of ascension. Who would have thought a tiny crystal fish could turn Sunny into a god? Meanwhile,
Oh, okay.
while everyone was immersed in joy, his light suddenly flashed into the blue sky. On a distant mountain, also slapped and watched everything. This is a crystal fish.
What's the most valuable item? Threw away. When I was 23 and broke in hell, working from a tiny apartment and sleeping in bed, saw an estate sale flyer taped to a telephone pole. The guy had died so fast yesterday, and they were selling everything dirt cheap just to clear out the house. I needed a desk fast, but I was doing freelance graphic design and had a table, which was basically a folding card table from Walmart in my room. And sliding around every time I moved, my back was killing me, flipping over. So I drove over there on Saturday morning for $40.
Did I get more soon? Swear I'm not getting anything.
The finish was worn down in spots where someone had probably rested their arms for years, but it was solid, $20. I counted up the 20 and told the estate sale lady I picked. Getting it home was a nightmare. I had to borrow my neighbor's pickup truck. You guys from my apartment complex to help me carry up 3 flights of stairs. We were all sweating and cursing by the time we got into my place. The desk had this weird smell of old paper and coffee stuff. There were water rains on the top of mugs, and the drawers stuck when you tried to open them. I spent that whole weekend cleaning it up with wood polish I bought at the dollar store. That's when I noticed something weird about the desk. There was this tiny gap, like there may be another drawer hidden behind the window.
Oh, stop. What's the stop, Gender? What you stopping?
It was maybe 6 inches wide and had been
Boom. Burning bird.
It was faded and dusty, and when I opened it up, there was what looked like an old dime sitting in it. I almost threw it away. I mean, it was just a dime, right? But the size looked different. The design was weird, and it had this date on it that said 1916. I figured maybe it was worth like 50 cents or something to a coin collector, but I was curious, so I looked it up online. That's when I found out about mercury dimes, and specifically the 1916 G. And if you found one in good condition, it could be worth serious money. My hands were actually shaking when I read that some of them sold for $15,000 or more. I kept staring at this tiny coin, thinking there was no way something sitting at a $20 desk could be worth that. I took it to this coin shop downtown the next week. The old guy behind the counter put on these special glasses and examined it up. For 20 minutes, he kept flipping it over and looking at the edges, muttering to himself. Finally, he looked up at me and said, "Where did you get this?" I told him about the estate sale and the hidden drawer. He just nodded slowly. He said it was definitely real, definitely a 1916 G. It was in excellent condition, but it had been protected in the house all these years. He offered me $12,000 for it on the spot. $12,000. I was making maybe 25 grand a year at my previous job. So this was my
Something
final
about
happy
the
year's salary. Before I sold it, I got curious about the guy who owned the house. I went back to the estate sale organizer and asked him. Turns out he'd been this quiet old man who collected coins his whole life. But when he got sick a few years back, he had to sell most of his collection to pay for medical treatment. This dime must have been one he forgot, hidden away in that secret drawer. Maybe he put it there years ago and he'll never remember where he stashed it. The estate sale lady said he lived alone and never had visitors toward the end. I ended up selling the coin for $13,500. The first thing I did was pay off my student loans completely. Just like that, I went from owing 18 grand to being debt free for the first time since college. But then I kept thinking about this old man who died, whose coin collection had kept him going for his medical bills. So I took $1,000 and donated it to his office where he spent his last few weeks. When I told the estate sale organizer what I'd done, he actually started crying. He said she'd been happy with his care for years. What's the most valuable item you found?
Was killed at the concert. I suddenly noticed a concert with tens of thousands. Felt like it was staged just for me. A killer's nerves are always sensitive. I quickly sensed something wrong with me. Over 3,000 police are deployed here. What really shook me, one by one, men wearing the same color as me were quietly taken away by the police. That's when I knew this was about me. During intermission, I took my daughter to the snack box. I casually asked the manager.
It's a duck flow. Is it this? I already have one of those. Why did it give me? Oh, it's the fun fountain. So classic.
They were after a killer called the Butcher. The whole concert was a threat. A chill ran down my back, but I had to keep calm. I quickly told my daughter to find an exit, but every exit was guarded by police. Getting out of notice was impossible. Then I saw her, a drunk woman near the stairs. I didn't hesitate. I gave her a hard push. She fell down the stairs. Her scream echoed across the venue. All the nearby cops rushed over. I grabbed my daughter and moved back. But just a few steps later, another wave of officers filled the gap. No choice. We headed back to the venue. I needed a replay. Soon, the host introduced a surprise guest. As the lift slowly rose, an idea sparked in my head. Maybe there was a way out of the front platform. I tried pulling my daughter through, but her eyes were locked on the stage. She refused to move. The lift sealed shut. I left with a chance to escape. I couldn't waste more time. Told her I needed the rescue. Slipped out on my own. Found the same vendor again. Kept it casual. Then I spotted him. His employee van. He could open the restricted door. I grabbed an employee van. He could easily unlock the door. I quickly ducked into the backstage passage. But just as I stepped in, the whole team of passengers planning how to catch me. My heart was pounding, but my face stayed calm. I picked up the coffee, walked straight through them like a woman. I listened in on their conversation, and quietly took a walkie-talkie. Back with my daughter, I turned it on. They were describing my exact story. I was running out of time. I scanned the map, found an anonymous person of cameras on the spot, planned to create chaos to escape. And froze, because of the walkie-talkie. I heard they'd anticipated my move. I had to turn around and keep looking for a way. Once when I saw the two trucks, I turned it to max speed, then flipped in two black bottles. With a step, I stepped back and waited. Moments later, the glass bottle exploded. People screamed. Chaos broke loose. I used the chance to grab a statue, get dressed quickly, made my way to the rooftop. To my great surprise, the rooftop was also police guarded. I am a ruthless killer at the concert.
What's the most twisted way your parents showed they loved you? My dad believed that tears were weakness. Real men don't cry. Real men don't show feelings. Real men handle everything alone. He'd tell me this while I was still in high school. I could actually understand what he meant. When I was 7, I fell off my bike and scraped my knees so bad they were bleeding into my knees. I ran home crying, wanting my dad to make it better like other kids' parents did. Instead, he looked at me with this disgusted expression and said, "Stop that crying right now. The world doesn't care about your feelings." So I can't either. He made me clean my own wounds while he watched, telling me this was how I learned to stop. When I whispered something else at home, disappointing him all over again. The worst happened when I was 13. I finally worked up the courage to tell him about my first crush, a girl named Ellie in my science class. I thought maybe this was something we could bond over. Father-son talk about girls and girls. Big decided to announce it to our entire extended family. Our little Romeo here has a girlfriend, he said, laughing while cutting his turkey. Can't even work up the nerve to talk to her, though. Just stares at her like a lost puppy. Everyone at the table started laughing. My aunts were cooing about how cute it was. My uncle was making jokes about buying her breakfast. And my cousins were already planning for months. I wanted to disappear into the floor. Ellie wasn't even my girlfriend. I just liked her, and now my entire family thought I was some lovesick kid. After that, I stopped telling my dad anything personal, but he didn't seem to notice or care. A few months later, I tried out for the basketball team. I'd been practicing for weeks, shooting hoops in our driveway until it got dark, and running laps around the neighborhood. I really thought I had a shot at making varsity. I didn't even make junior varsity. When I came home that afternoon, still wearing my tryout jersey, my dad took one look at my face and knew. Instead of saying something comforting like, maybe next year, or you did your best, he nodded like he was satisfied. Good, he said, not even looking up from his newspaper. Now you know what failure feels like. Next time you'll work harder because you'll remember this week. I went to my room and cried as I closed my eyes, but I made sure you couldn't hear me through the door. By high school, I learned my lesson. I became the guy who never got upset about anything. Friends started calling me chill and laid back. Never reacted to drama or bad news. Girls liked that I seemed so confident and unbothered by everything, but inside, I was completely numb. I trained myself not to feel
What a
anything.
piece of
Every emotion was just another opportunity to disappoint my dad. When I graduated, he gave me a firm handshake and said, "Proud of you, son," but it felt hollow, like he was reading lines from a script. I'd spent 4 years getting perfect grades, staying out of trouble, and being the son he wanted, but his approval felt empty. I didn't realize how messed up I was until I started dating Emma during my sophomore year of college. We'd been together for about 6 months when she said something that stopped me cold. "You know you don't let anyone actually know you, right?" she said one night after I brushed off her questions about why I seemed upset. "It's like there's this wall around you that nobody can get through." I tried to explain that I was just a private person, that not everyone needed to share every feeling, but she shook her head. "It's not about sharing everything. It's about letting people care about you when you're hurting. You act like needing support makes you weak." That's when it hit me. My dad hadn't been making me strong at all. He'd been teaching me that love is conditional on never showing vulnerability, that the people who mattered most would abandon me the second I proved I was good. Emma broke up with me 2 weeks later. She said she couldn't use someone who looked that way, even when she was trying to help. I wanted to fight for her, to explain that I could change, but I didn't even know how to start. What's the most twisted way your parents showed they loved you? My dad believed that tears were weakness. Real men don't cry. Real men don't show feelings. Real men handle everything alone. He'd tell me this while I was still in diapers, like I could actually understand what he meant.
Oh my god, what am I
I
doing?
life and scraped my knees so bad they were bleeding through my jeans. I ran home crying, wanting my dad to make it better like other kids' parents did. Instead, he looked at me with this disgusted expression and said, "Stop that crying right now. The world doesn't care about your feelings, so I can't either." He made me clean my own wounds while we watched, telling me this was how I learned to be tough. When I whimpered from the alcohol and the cuts, he just shook his head like I was disappointing him all over again. The worst happened when I was 13. I finally worked up the courage to tell him about my first crush.
Boom.
Science class. I thought maybe this
We
was
made
something
it as soon as
father-son talk about girls and growing up. Big mistake. Thanksgiving dinner came around and my dad decided to announce it to our entire extended. Dexter, my childhood, I developed a bloodthirsty. But my father Harry was a police officer. Until that day, everything changed. Harry suddenly watching I compared them with the original newspapers I found with the image she had down. She gave Harry his medication. I asked why the conversation was getting worse. She just changed the subject and what medication she was taking. Harry did what she said was better to understand. She continued to obey the folder in the drawer, including the newspaper.
alright, well, no.
I realized there was something wrong with the medication Mary was giving me.
Okay. Give me raccoon or I will unfriend you. Heck no, bro. Get the fuck out of it. Should've chose, idiot. Then you couldn't choose. What should we do? Alien invasion, disco. I really want disco conversation.
I worked at Disney for 20 years. They have underground tunnels and something is hunting employees. I've been a janitor at Disneyland for 20 years, and I've seen things that would make you never want to visit the park again. Most people don't know there's an entire complex built beneath the Magic Kingdom that mirrors every street and ride above. Walt Disney himself designed it, so characters can move around without breaking immersion with guests. Disney works very hard to keep it secret. Every cast member has to be on stage whenever they're in sight of park guests, even the janitor. That's where I'm. For 2 decades, I've been cleaning up every mess visitors make, and trust me, you don't want to know it. There are cameras watching you from the moment you're shepherded into a parking spot until the tram drops you off at the highway. Things are fine if you know your place, and I learned that lesson. 1 year, 7 months, 13 days into the job. A distraught couple came to me asking about their missing dog. I immediately led them to the office on Main Street, explaining how employees would escort their child to underground passages directly. When I opened the office door and turned around, they were gone. I was searching for them when the head of security emerged. I started to explain, but he cut me off. Everything is fine. My parents have been reunited with their son. It was a daughter. That's right, their daughter. Why don't you take some paid vacation for a week on land? But it could be much longer than a week, Sid, he said. I took the plane tickets but went to the beach instead. I did very well in the following years by cleaning things up and not asking questions. I didn't question why our electric meters reported 10,000 megawatts. I never asked why
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yum. Bring your sour cream.
Looked at me, then sat on the opposite shelf around complex during my break, trying to forget a messy accident. Cheesed up. Alice on the run. The hospital took me downstairs to the lounge. Looked at me, then sat on the opposite couch with his legs crossed. I smiled and nodded, trying to
Cheese,
It's
cheese,
hard,
cheese,
hard to
cheese.
It's
Why was he still
raining
talking? The first thing cast members do is go off stage and drop the
Raining
Why wouldn't someone take the opportunity to
tacos.
remove that ridiculous mouse on the next stage? He didn't move. It wasn't pleasant. I wondered if he was stuck at the costume starting with the scenes, but I couldn't find it. My blood was cold. I realized there was no hope.
It's raining
This guy
tacos.
I don't need the person inside. Those giant mouse eyes rolled over the clock. It's hard to see I was ready to run. I was back. I find an outlet. I made it 300 yards before my burning lungs forced me to collapse on the ground. He didn't attack me. Through my blurred vision, I could barely make out the head of security standing above me. He looked furious. Next to him was a tall, pale man in a gray suit with a fedora who didn't look like he'd been running at all. Well, Sid, the head of security shouted, clearly less winded than me. How about we send you to Europe for this vacation? I'm in Italy now, writing this reading about other people moving forward online about their Disney experiences. I stopped being able to maintain the denial I'd worked so hard to preserve. I also noticed that everyone else on my tour had connections to Disney, despite the fact we'd never met before and weren't part of a Disney-sanctioned tour. We'd been gathered together on purpose.
This dog was about to die at first. Suddenly, the car window was instantly shattered. A mother and son saved him. When the dog woke from his coma, he saw a young boy. The boy really liked him. The next day, the boy ordered a custom dog tag. One side had the boy's name, Ethan. The other side had the dog's name, Bailey. As time passed, Bailey quickly grew up. He was very intelligent. One day, Ethan was feeling down. The next second, Bailey came out with a football. This instantly made Ethan laugh. They even learned a combo move because of this. But happy times are always short-lived. Ethan also grew up and was very good at football. He even earned a full ride to college, but someone became jealous. He thought Ethan took all his glory. That night, the boy threw a firecracker into Ethan's house. Bailey wanted to stop him, but it was too late. The firecracker instantly lit the carpet on fire, and the fire spread quickly. Bailey realized the danger. He ran upstairs and woke Ethan. Ethan woke up and wanted to escape with his mom, but the fire blocked the exit. They decided to escape through the window. Ethan tied the bed sheets together and lowered his mom down. Then he lowered Bailey down. However, an accident happened. The bed sheets slipped from his hands. Ethan had no choice but to jump from the window, but unfortunately, he broke a leg. He also lost his full ride to college. college. Ethan became very depressed. Finally, Ethan chose another university. He had to leave home and leave Bailey, but Bailey didn't want Ethan to leave, so he broke free and quickly ran after Ethan. Seeing he couldn't catch up, he took a shortcut. Finally, Bailey caught up with Ethan. Ethan was deeply moved, but couldn't change the outcome. Bailey could only watch Ethan leave. However, Ethan could never imagine how far a dog's loyalty can go. After Ethan left, Bailey's world
That was
seemed to lose its
not a
outlook.
fun
He became
game.
an actor. He lay by the lake all day, watching the direction Ethan left, hoping his owner would come back. Until one day, Grandma noticed Bailey's abnormality. They took Bailey to the hospital. The doctor said Bailey had reached the end of his life. Grandpa called Ethan. Soon after, Bailey smelled Ethan's scent. He tried to stand up and play with Ethan, but his body had no strength. Eventually, Bailey closed his eyes forever. But their story didn't end. Bailey's soul found a new home. He was bought by a girl. The girl's boyfriend didn't like dogs, so he was locked outside every day. Eventually, Bailey was cruelly abandoned by the man, but he gained freedom. He ran through the jungle and accidentally came to a wheat field. Suddenly, Bailey smelled a familiar scent. He carefully distinguished the smell in the air. Then Bailey quickly ran toward the scent. Finally, woke from his coma, he saw a young boy.
What advice would you give to someone in an argument with a stupid person? My coworker Travis insisted the earth was flat during our office lunch break. I laughed it off, but he got furious and said he'd prove me wrong. The next week, Travis started bringing printed evidence to work. Photos, charts, YouTube screenshots. He cornered colleagues in the break room, trying to convert them. Lindsay from accounting started avoiding the coffee machine. Eric from IT switched to eating lunch in his car. Our boss told him to stop, but Travis claimed it was educational discussion and threatened to sue for religious discrimination. He printed out legal documents about free speech and left them on HR's desk with highlighted sections about constitutional rights. Things escalated when Travis started leaving flat earth pamphlets on everyone's desk. He created a PowerPoint presentation and demanded time at our next team meeting to educate the sheep. The presentation had 47 slides titled Wake Up, the Globe Lie Exposed, with NASA conspiracy theories and suspicious moon landing photos. Management finally had enough and wrote him up. Travis went ballistic, screaming about suppression of truth and corporate conspiracies. He accused our boss of being part of NASA's cover-up operation. Security had to escort him back to his cubicle while he shouted about government mind control and paid shills. But Travis wasn't finished. He started a company-wide email chain with evidence attachments. When IT blocked his emails, he switched to leaving USB drives in the parking lot with labels like Truth Inside and The Earth is Flat.
Oh, tens of then it's going to be OP. It's like a billion master sprinklers.
Nope, Travis had booked us both tickets to fly from New York to Tokyo.
He lied to me.
First class tickets, $6,000. He used his entire vacation money and picked out a credit card for his experience. If the earth is round like you say, explain why we don't flip upside down during the flight, he said smugly, waving. Explain why the plane doesn't have to constantly nosedive to follow your imaginary curve. This will expose the lie once and for all. I couldn't believe someone would blow their life savings just to prove it. But Travis was serious. He even brought a compass, a level, a gyroscope device he built from YouTube tutorials, a notebook full of calculations, and a GoPro to document everything. The flight attendant kept giving us weird looks as Travis set up his experiments during takeoff. He was measuring angles, checking his compass every 10 minutes, and muttering about maintaining altitude on a flat lane. Other passengers started recording him with their phones. For the first 3 hours, Travis was confident. He kept showing me his level, pointing out how it stayed perfectly horizontal. See? No curve! We're flying straight across the flat earth! He was live streaming the whole thing on Facebook to his flat earth group with 500 plus members watching. But somewhere over Alaska, something changed. Travis pressed his face against the window for almost an hour straight. His homemade gyroscope wasn't giving him the readings he expected. The compass was acting weird. He started frantically recalculating his measurements, erasing and rewriting equations in his notebook. Then he went quiet, really quiet. I looked over and saw him staring out at the horizon with this completely bewildered expression. His hands were shaking as he held up his level again and again, like it was broken. The Facebook live stream was still running with comments flooding in. He just tapped my shoulder and whispered, "Why can't you see her?" The flight attendant walked by and Travis grabbed her arm. "Excuse me, why does the horizon look thin?" He smiled politely and said, "Sir, that's because the earth is round." Travis is now sitting in complete silence, staring at his $3,000 worth of flat earth
Let's go
equipment
find
scattered across his tray table. His Facebook followers are going absolutely crazy in the comments,
calling him a traitor. We still have 8 hours left to Tokyo, and Travis just asked me to help him delete his social media accounts. What advice would you give?
Lawyers, what's the most insultingly low settlement offer you've ever seen in a lawsuit? A factory worker lost 3 fingers in a machine accident due to a safety bug that had been removed to speed up production. The company didn't call an ambulance. Instead, they gave him a roll of paper towels and told him to clock out before going to the hospital. His medical bill
Max,
exceeded $300,000, and he obviously
let's
couldn't
see what you
return
got
the job.
now.
A lawsuit was never won. Their first settlement offer
I'll press
was
D
$200
hard.
and a $50 gift card from Steak.
Tell you to give him.
Their reasoning? Since he wasn't completely disabled, he could still
But
come.
still,
When we rejected it, they bumped it up to $4,000 with the same steakhouse gift card. I was livid, but my client just laughed and said, at least they didn't offer me a discount in gloves. We took them to court. During trial, we uncovered evidence of safety bug and had been warned multiple times that it was a hazard. The jury awarded him $3.7 million, plus another $5 million in punitive damages. The best part? The company's lawyer tried to argue that it wasn't that limited since he still had 7 fingers left. But while making his closing argument, he struggled to open his own briefcase to get his hands on full documents. The jury went, lawyers, what's the most insultingly low settlement offer you've ever seen in a lawsuit? A factory worker lost 3 fingers in a machine accident due to a safety bug that had been removed to speed up production. The company didn't call an ambulance. Instead, they gave him a roll of paper towels and told him to clock out before going to the hospital. His medical bills exceeded $300,000, and he obviously couldn't return to his job. A lawsuit was never won. Their first settlement offer, $2,000 and a $50 gift card from Steak. Their reasoning? Since he wasn't completely disabled, he could still find another job. When we rejected it, they bumped it up to $4,000 with the same steakhouse gift card. I was livid, but my client just laughed and said, at least they didn't offer me a discount in gloves. We took them to court. During trial, we uncovered an animal that removed the safety bug and had been warned multiple times that it was a hazard. The jury awarded him $3.7 million, plus another $5 million. The best part? The company's lawyer tried to argue that it wasn't that limited since he still had 7 fingers left. But while making his closing argument, he struggled to open his own briefcase to get his hands on full documents. The jury went, lawyers, what's the most insultingly low settlement offer you've ever seen?
A man had pieces of jade stuck in his eyes, and suddenly his close-up vision turned into X-ray vision. Even though his eyes were covered with bandages, he could still see clearly. He could see exactly what the nurse was wearing and what she wasn't. He could notice every tiny detail on the doctor's face. He quickly said to the doctor, take off your mask. The moment the mask came off, everything he had seen turned out to be true. He thought he was hallucinating, but it was real. After returning home, his friend Jake came over with a 50-year-old jade teapot. He planned to sell it. The moment Ethan looked at it, his eyes lit up like gold. He could see the full process.
what the fuck?
It was being claimed as an ancient family heirloom, but Ethan could
John
clearly
Dell,
tell it was
don't
just a
do
cheap
it.
thing made in a local workshop.
We have
His friend
carrots.
couldn't believe it. They went to the antique market where a shopkeeper said it was worth just $5. Leaving, Ethan's eyes landed on a black gold. His eyes lit up again. He saw that under the black
Josh,
gold, there
quiet.
was red hidden inside. He instantly knew this gold was not ordinary. Ethan bargained and bought it for $800. Just then, a woman asked him to save
Josh, quiet.
sorry.
Quiet.
He turned to Ethan and said, name your price. Ethan didn't say anything. Instead, he took everything to an antique.
Quiet.
Said, I'll offer $20,000. Then added, it's just a black gold. Can't be worth much. Ethan replied, it looks black outside, but it's red inside. Everyone was shocked. The antique expert David arrived. He examined the gold closely and said, this is a rare 400.
Be quiet. Josh, be quiet.
The original seller was filled with regret for letting it go so cheap. The rich man offered $100,000. The seller raised it to $300,000. The rich man came back with $500,000.
Shut up.
Just like that, before Ethan bought $800 was sold for $1,000 times the profit. A man had pieces of jade stuck in his eyes, and suddenly his close-up vision turned into X-ray vision. Even though his eyes were covered with bandages, he could still see clearly. He could see exactly what the nurse was wearing and what she wasn't. He could notice every tiny detail on the doctor's face. He quickly said to the doctor, take off your mask. The moment the mask came off, everything he had seen turned out to be true.
Be quiet.
But it was real. After returning home, his friend Jake came over with a 50-year-old jade teapot. He planned to sell it. The moment Ethan looked at it, his eyes lit up like gold. He could see the full process of how the teapot was made. It was being claimed as an ancient family heirloom, but Ethan could clearly tell it was just a cheap fake made in a local workshop. His friends couldn't believe it. They went to the antique market where a shopkeeper said it was worth just $2. As they were leaving, Ethan's eyes landed on a black gourd. His eyes lit up again. He saw that under the black paint there was red hidden inside. He instantly knew this gourd was not ordinary. Ethan bargained and bought it for $800. Just then, a woman arrived and asked to buy that same gourd. The seller said, "Sorry, it's already sold." A rich man nearby didn't like it. He turned to Ethan and said, "Name your price." Ethan didn't say anything. Instead, he took everyone to an antique expert. The rich man, trying to impress the girl, said, "I'll offer $20,000. Then added, "It's just a black gourd. Can't be worth much." Ethan replied, "It looks black outside, but it's red inside." Everyone was shocked. The antique expert David arrived. He examined the gourd closely and said, "This is a rare 100-year-old treasure." He carefully wiped it with a cloth, revealing the deep red color and ancient carvings underneath. The original seller was filled with regret for letting it go so cheap. The rich man immediately offered $100,000. The seller raised it to $300,000. The rich man came back with $500,000. The seller gave up, and just like that, the gourd Ethan bought for $800 was sold for $500,000. One deal, 1,000 times the profit. A man had pieces of jade stuck in his eyes, and suddenly his close-up vision turned into X-ray vision. Even though his eyes were covered with bandages, he could still see clearly. He could see exactly what she was wearing and what she wasn't. He could notice every tiny detail.
Nothing.
He quickly said to the doctor, "Take off your mask." The moment the
You're
mask
big
came off,
back.
everything he had seen turned out to be true.
You
He thought it
fat
was
man.
hallucinating, but it was real. After returning home, his friend Jake came over
Josh,
with
you're
a
fat.
50-year-old jade teapot.
You're
He planned to
fat.
sell it. The moment Ethan looked at it, his eyes lit up like gold.
You're
He could see
fat.
the full process of how the teapot was made. It was being saved as an ancient
Do it.
but Ethan could clearly tell it was just a cheap fake made in a local workshop. His friend couldn't believe it. They went to the antique market where a shopkeeper said it was worth just $5. As they were leaving, Ethan's eyes landed on a black gourd. His eyes lit up again. He saw that under the black paint there was red hidden inside. He instantly knew this gourd was not ordinary. Ethan bargained and bought it for $800. Just then, a woman arrived and asked to buy that same gourd. The seller said, "Sorry, it's already sold." A rich man nearby didn't like that. He turned to Ethan and said, "Name your price." Ethan didn't say anything. Instead, he took everyone to an antique expert. The rich man, trying to impress the girl, said, "I'll offer $20,000. Then added, "It's just a black gourd. Can't be worth much." Ethan replied, "It looks black outside, but it's red inside." Everyone was shocked. The antique expert David arrived. He examined the gourd closely and said, "This is a rare form."
Shut up. That's what you get, you fat bitch.
Letting it go so cheap. The rich man immediately offered $100,000. The seller raised it to $300,000. The rich man came back with $500,000. The seller gave up, and just like that, the gourd Ethan bought $800 was sold for $500,000. One deal, 1,000 times the profit. A
You
man had
miss.
pieces of jade stuck in his eyes, and suddenly his close-up vision
You
turned
miss.
even though his eyes were covered with bandages.
You missed.
Miss what?
You missed.
No, I didn't.
You missed. You missed. Yeah. You missed. You missed.
Or else he will Each time the doctor saved a life, she would kill a criminal as a reward to herself. Her biggest dream was to die on the operating table. Years ago, she wanted to become a student of a famous prince. Her passion impressed the professor.
No, I'm taking it.
The
No, it's not yours. No,
This.
no it's mine.
For further study, but out of selfishness, the professor saw her spot someone with connections. She was furious and went to confront her, challenging the professor and consequences. That day on, she was never
It's raining
No,
tacos
it's
from
mine.
out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. Tacos, out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shout, cheese and meat. It's raining
You missed.
tacos.
You did. You missed. You missed. No, I'm grounded.
Shell, meat, lettuce, cheese, shell, meat, lettuce, cheese, shell, cheese, 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 cheese.
It's raining tacos. Raining tacos. Raining tacos.
Spin the coming flip. The different flip.
It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos.
He's back in the trunk. And the lady. And push it in. Penny bud. Wait. It's good. Did I ask you, fat pig? Josh, you're a fat pig. Get off me, you little snakes. This is your last warning before I get angry. 5. Get off me! Ow! Get off! Get off! That's what you get. Die. No, you get. Ow!
Thank forgiveness, but the professor only gave her a cold glare before walking away. Their relationship was broken for good. Years passed. She became the most famous licensed surgeon in the black market. She proposed
What did you just say, Josh?
This time, her patient was a gang boss with stage 4 brainstem glioma. He even kidnapped her.
Cry about it, nerd. Josh, you're a nerd, nerdy.
Don't hurt me.
Okay, I'm not gonna hurt you.
If you hurt me, I'll hurt you.
Okay, I'm not gonna hurt you. So now you can't hurt me. Bro, I didn't even hurt you. Why are you hurting me? Oh! Stop pinching me. I'll only stop if you stop pinching me.
Okay. That's what you get.
Right about it, that's what you get, nerd. Fat pig is fat. No, I don't want to play fighting. The Rock is cooking.
What?
Nothing.
Who's cooking?
Me, I'm cooking. The Rock is cooking. What was that? The Rock is cooking. The Rock is cooking. The Rock is.
Oh,
That's what.
stop grounding Simon Fan.
I'm gonna ground Simon Fan.
Stop grounding Simon Fan.
I'm gonna ground Simon Fan.
Eden, why did you ground Simon Fan?
Because I wanted to.
You GG grounded sex off Charlton and yet. Will you fight Frank and Hack now?
No. Let's do it. Ow. Ow. Ow! Ow! What's your problem, you fat pig?
I go.
Ah! You fat pig. You fat pig.
With donation box. She said this way,
Fat poo poo.
next morning, she got a call from her old mentor, the professor. A few days earlier,
Get away!
investigated an illegal surgery video. He had recognized the surgical technique.
I don't care.
He had been diagnosed with brainstem glioma 2. His condition was getting worse. Now, she was the only person in the country to perform that operation besides him. She refused.
I don't
It's raining
care.
tacos
Ow!
from the sky. Tacos. No need to ask why. Just open your mouth.
Oh,
Close your eyes. It's raining
the rock is cooking. Nothing.
Street. Cheese and meat. It's raining tacos.
I punched your head off.
The professor, and he accepted her as a private apprentice.
Oh!
She learned fast and well.
No, I punched your head off.
Opted for further study, but out of self-defense,
Bastard.
the professor sold her spot to someone
Alright, go on then.
serious and
Ow!
confronting children.
Pancakes.
From that day on,
Oh,
she
you
was
can
never
get
allowed to enter the operating room again. To her, that felt like a death sentence. Burning with rage, she grabbed the notice and tried to strangle the professor.
Cheese.
Do you think I care?
He slapped her hard and warned
I
her to
don't
never
care.
set foot in the surgery wing again.
You
Hoping for a
don't.
chance to do surgery again. She knelt outside the hospital to beg for forgiveness, but the professor
About
only
you,
gave her
because you stink.
walking away. Their relationship was broken for good. Years passed. She became the most famous unlicensed surgeon
No.
in the black market.
No, you stink of poo-poo. You stink of poo-poo. You stink of poo-poo. No, you pee-pee-peed. Josh stinks. You stink. Fat pig. You're a fat pig. Oh, you stink. I'm gonna hit you in the head with my phone if you don't stop. I'm gonna hit you in the head with my phone if you don't stop. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, be scared. Scaredy cat. Be scared of me. You're such a scaredy cat. No one likes you. Oh. Ah! Cry. So, get off. You don't get off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh! Just leave me alone. No! I'm going in your bed. I'm going in your bed.
I'm going in your bed.
Get off my bed. I'm gonna slap you in the face in a minute if you don't stop. Oh, I'm gonna call Ash if you don't stop.
What?
I'm gonna call Ash if you don't stop.
What is that?
Downstairs. Oh! I'll cry. Cry. Alright, get off!
Don't do something to me.
Get off me! Get off! Get off!
I'm right here.
Get off me, Josh.
What? I'm not on you.
Get off me. Potatoes big bird.
What?
Oh, yes.
They do.
Yes, Josh. I'm gonna slap you in the back of the head, you. You just hurt yourself. Are you gonna leave? You hit your head against that. Want what? What do you want? Want one what? Why are you annoying me? If you're not my friend, then get out of my bed. No. He hit his head against that. I'm trying to stop him.
Did he slap you or did you hit your head against that? I want the truth, John.
I did not.
He slapped me.
I did not. I did not.
Why did you say he slapped you?
Because I tried to get this, so then he would stop holding it. And he said I slapped him. Nothing. Then he hit his head against that. And then he started crying.
Did you hit your head against that?
Can you get off it, please? Why are you lying?
Don't lie.
I didn't. No. I am. I didn't stop him. Swear down. Swear down on everything I care about. On your own. Because he hit his head against that. Josh, why are you saying that I slapped you? Because you hit your head.
You lift it up.
When did I lift it up? You was grabbing it. Yeah, I lifted it up, so then I
Number
would get
one,
you
you
off
shouldn't
it.
be playing with that anyway because it's not a toy, so let go. Number two, go on your bed. Maybe.
He kept annoying me. Like, he literally ran into the room, he jumped on my bed.
Get people bored.
Doesn't he go on his Nintendo or something?
Yeah, it's fine.
Josh, why don't you go on the Nintendo?
You need to get yourself ready for when your dad messages you.